Okay.
So we have vowels, which is straight and typical green stuff.
All right.
So we're going to do a lot of cantering, yeah.
We're going to start on a circle then. So first your balance. Your right side looks good there. You've got shoulder, hip, heel, nice. Your left side, your leg is quite back. You feel that? So you got to think like you're sitting on her back the way you would sit on a bicycle, on the bicycle seat. And that your legs, you soften your legs enough that you could pedal and that you can find your balance on them. Well done. Perfect. So her balance, it's the same as learning to balance anything. She has to learn to balance herself on circles, when she's walking, when she's trotting. The point in the sport is that they balance themselves in self-carriage and uphill. So have you been riding a long time?
Yes.
Yeah. So
I haven't done a lot in a while.
yeah. So ride a little halt. And what did you do before?
I had some horses. I had a schoolmaster for a while.
Okay.
So I rode, the level stuff, and I trained a couple horses and stuff.
Okay, great. So self-carriage is in the front end. So everything to do with the front end, the reins, is all about self-carriage. The pushing is from behind. So when you look down at her neck, there's two places we get self-carriage. In their shoulder, she can concentrate a bit. Hey. Hey. Hello. So in their shoulder and in their neck. The shape of their neck, so when you have a horse that's off the bit completely, you have no brakes on. Or if you have a horse that's through the neck, you have no brakes on. So the shape when you look at a horse through the neck, when you look at her neck from above, so look at her neck, pick it up, yep, and look at it from behind her ears, straight, right? It looks like it, look at her neck, it looks like an hourglass. So behind her head is wide, and then it's narrow where your reins cross, and then it's wide at her shoulders again. So the way her spine works is it comes out of her ears, and it drops down, and then it goes in here. So it works like a bird, like an ostrich. When she's eating, it's straight out. When she's working in dressage, it's like this. So she's either stretching or working. Stretching or working. So when you shape her neck with your hands, with your thumbs on top, your job is to shape that hourglass. Thumbs on top. Right? So you would take the reins, and you would try to make that shape in her neck. So the roundness is the big fat part at the front. Yep. Good. And then this part is the stretch part. So whether that hourglass is up at 45 degrees or down, it depends how uphill they come. So a training level course, we keep it a little bit more like the hourglass is lying on the table. The wither is where her center is. We want her center behind her shoulder, where we are, so that her hind leg can pick it up. When you pull on her mouth, we pull the center forward. So we counter that by taking our elbows, look at her wither, see where it is, look straight at it, down between your hands. Go like this. Drop your head straight between your hands. Yep. And now pull it back into the saddle. There's still a little cricket in your head. So that's self-carriage in the shoulder.
Oh,
When her wither is behind her elbows like that, you're giving her hind leg opportunity to push you and the wither out. When she leans her wither onto her shoulder, which is on the forehead, she's not self-carriage. So this is your half hold. You do this with your elbows. So do that again. Bring your wither back. Yep, you can lean her back a bit more. That's where self-carriage is. That's where she can really go light in front. Everything else, when she runs with her wither out forward on your hand, that's what's making her heavy. So once you do that, the front end is like a car without any gas. The hind legs are like two of your best friends. You've called them. You need to be pushed. You're either going to be pushed on a flat ground or up a hill. If you feel like she's running through your hand, your car is going downhill. Your friends aren't even pushing anymore. So then the wither is too forward. So now when you walk on, tell your friends, can they give you a push? Give a little bit so she can move forward. So one of the hard things learning this is that when you ask your buddies to push you, if you step on the brake every time they go to push you, they're going to stop pushing, right? So you got to decide when to step on the brake and when to make her round in the hourglass and when to bring her wither back. Stepping on the brake, pretty much only when she goes totally downhill. If you feel too much contact, but she's not going downhill, you use the contact to bring her wither back. As soon as her wither comes back, give, and then make the hourglass round. Right? So the order is, she pushes from behind, into self-carriage, into roundness. Tell her, good girl. And then you got to stay balanced in the middle of her and figure out how to steer that around from your hip and your hand as opposed to your hand and her mouth. Good. So already better there, huh? You feel where you are? Good. So try a little trot there, and we'll just see where she goes. Good. Turn her head a little bit left. And if her wither is on your side of her elbows, you can soften your hand. Yep. And you can think about your hourglass, and you can think about those hind legs pushing you a bit more. Yep. You got to turn her consistently left because you're going on a circle left. Good. Good. And flex her left a bit more. Yep. Let her neck down a little. There you go. Tell her, good girl. And now the hind leg just pushes that front end into that turn. We want a little bit of left flexion. Yep. Because you want to shape your neck on the same line that you're riding. So look ahead a little. Find your line. Look to your left, up and ahead. And shape her neck on the same line you want to ride. Just like a bike, you're steering the bike by the handlebars. And now you got to tell the hind legs to push you a little bit on that line. Turn her head left. Good. And you're trying to keep one line, like a train on a track. Good. Okay. And come to the walk by bringing the wither back again. Yep. Look at her wither. Bring it back. Turn her head left. Now the hind legs are not pushing, so take the brakes off. Close your leg. Where's your line? Where's your turn? Good. So part of teaching them to balance is you got to be consistent. Give the reins. She's not pushing. Let her walk. Relax your leg a little, touch her with your spur, tell the hind legs to push you again. Those are your buddies back there. So you got, yeah, tell her good girl. So now she's pushing again. You feel where she is? And you have to make sure that even if she's resisting, and that's what's putting on the brakes and stopping the hind legs from being able to push, you either quickly drop her neck and make her round that the brake comes off, or you give the rein away that the brake comes off. But if you keep stepping on the brake or she steps on the brake, the guys behind are going to quit and go home, right? When horses move, they pace. They're pacers. You know what that means? So they move their right side, then their left side, right? So she moves right hind, right front, then left hind, left front. Her right hind pushes her right front, then her left hind pushes her left front. She paces in 4 beats when she walks well. She paces in 2 beats when she trots well. So when they trot, their right hind is still propelling their right front forward, but it's in the air. And when they canter, they use their whole right side, then their whole left side. So when you think of how she moves like this and how you're steering her, look at me, just like a train, the hind wheel is the power, there's a bar, and the hind wheel moves the front wheel. The hind wheel moves the front wheel. So when you're steering her like this, you have to feel her right hind push her right front where you want to go, then her left hind push her left front. And you got to aim her head in front of that, right? That you don't stop her front legs with your hands, that she starts to go like left and right and squirrely because she's not pushing herself forward anymore. There you go. So, yep, fine. So there you're almost pacing in 4 beats. Left hind, left front, right hind, right front. And if you want to slow her down, you want to bring the wither back under you, not the chin in and the wither forward. Tell her, good girl. So there you're pacing in 4 beats. You feel where you are? When you pace like that in 2 beats, right side, left side, if you're still in walk, it's a terrible walk. But if you're in trot, it's a great trot. So the right hind pushes the right front into trot, the left hind pushes the left front into trot. You're still steering her like a train. So go ahead and trot in 2 beats. Push, tell her good girl. Figure out where your track is. Yep, give right a little, that you're still pushing her on that track. Turn her head a little bit left, that it's a 20-meter circle. Look where you're going. Doesn't matter. Turn left. Look where you're going. Watch the wither and bring the wither back on the left when she's snorting. Tell her good girl. Pull the wither back with your left hand. Tell her good. Pull it back. Pull it back. Yep. Find your balance. You're going to get rid of the tension by finding the balance. Instead of leave her out of balance, snorting in tension, right? You feel that? Mm-hmm. So now you're going to bring the wither back. You're going to pace in 2 beats. Right side, left side. Yep. Good job. Tell her good girl. So that was good because that was passive with your left rein. I liked that a lot. You feel she pulled, but she resisted herself into balance. That's how it should be. It should become self-correcting like that. Excellent. And your hands are great here, huh? You feel how still your hands are now? Yeah, so just look at her wither, and with those still hands, yeah, resist the wither back underneath you. Tell her good girl. Well done. Well done. Until it really feels like from the girth up to your seat is a bicycle seat. It's vertical, it's solid, it's small, and you're balanced on top of it. You feel where you are? And change the rein. Be careful as you change the rein. Watch out, it's a train. You can't just pull her head left and right. Yep. Well done. Yep. So left hind pushes left front, right hind pushes right front. Excellent. Use the contact to bend your elbow and bring her wither back. Use the balance, good, to allow her to go on the bit. Well done. Well done. Good. Excellent. Line got a bit funky there, right? Yep. And you're going to turn her head a little bit more right. Well done. So when you want to add that you want to ride her from your inner leg to your outer rein in this balance, you feel where you are? You're going to think of your seat really like a bicycle seat. And the more you bend her right, the more you're going to twist the bicycle seat straight to your left rein. So slow down a little at her wither. Turn her head right. And twist the pommel out into your left wrist. Tell her good girl. Turn her head right. Good job. That she goes straight into your left rein from your right leg and seat when you turn her head right. Well done. Yep. Resist against her wither there. Get the wither behind her elbows. Tell her good girl. Perfect. When you change the rein and you start to bring her head to the left, you've got to take your bicycle seat and straighten it behind your right rein by twisting it a little bit out to the right. When you think about collector on the right there, when you think about twisting her straight, it's like bending a coat hanger straight. If it's bent, we bend it till it's straight. So when you turn her head left and you bend her, you twist the saddle back to straight. Yep. Take the wither back. Well done. And when you hit this balance of self-carriage, you want to be very careful you just maintain it, huh? You don't do anything all of a sudden that disturbs it. Perfect. So try to find your way all the way around the ring like that. If she starts to lean on your inner rein, good. Just go on a circle. Right? You know it. Oh, my phone's charging. I was going to show you some pictures. Good. Yep. So where's your train? Look at her wither. Under you. Tell her good girl. Steering was a little funky. So, can you walk away? Oh, you like that, man? Your favorite thing you're okay with? What's your favorite thing? Oh well. That's good, huh? You feel where you are? I feel like your feet are still behind your center and you're not stacked over that bike seat. There you go. Tell her good girl. Huh. He says it's very good. The baby's teaching now.
Oh, he's got a hold of it.
Oh yeah, he's teaching. He's like, don't you know how to half hole yet? I know how to. I've listened to it for my whole life.
I'd be my first
Are you leaving? Well, I see you tomorrow. Let's see you
I'm
tomorrow.
riding one.
Are you staying? Are you going?
I'm going.
You're going. You're out. So I'm going to send you pictures.
Yeah, do.
I'm going to send you
And I'll be
pictures.
here in the morning. Thank you.
Beautiful.
See you, Vito.
All right, you're going to come to the walk by walking the wither. You're going to do that again because she didn't push there, right? Yep. Good. Now try it again with your elbows. Oh, pull the wither into walk. Tell her good girl. And then you give her a long angle break. Up, and then we go at it again. And then the more confident you get that you control the speed of your horse at your seat with your elbows, right? And you get that connection because she stretches into your hand. You don't control her out at the bridle. The more uphill she pushes you, the better she'll feel in your hands.